You know, despite what the YouTube algorithm might tell you, there are no shortcuts for beginners. When it comes to studying as a beginner, it's very easy to fall into the mindset of, well, there gotta be a better way to approach this, which there are, or a shorter way or an easier path. And a lot of beginners fell victim to that mindset or victim to the idea that there are shortcuts. And people on YouTube are gonna tell you there are shortcuts, easier way, but you have to understand those shortcuts are only visually noticeable to people who are seasoned artists or artists in, training and learning. You are not going to see those shortcuts or understand them if you are a beginner. It gets pretty frustrating as a beginner to not knowing if you're studying properly, especially if you are self-taught and you don't have the funds to get a drawing course at the moment. So it gets very frustrating when you go to YouTube looking for help and there's people offering shorter way to completely understand something that's so complex, and without knowing, you fall into that bubble of, maybe I can use this to get ahead of the curve. But as a beginner, you're not gonna understand the fundamentals of that shortcut, because that shortcut requires you to have a lot of knowledge on what you actually skipping over. But that doesn't mean you don't take any shortcuts at all. What I'm saying is that unable for you to take shortcuts, you must first understand what you skipping over. If it doesn't matter what skill you are as a beginner, as long as you've been drawing, you can take shortcuts if you have a little bit of understanding of what you're about to skip over. That way you can always go back to the fundamentals. But if you're a complete beginner, there is no time for you to take shortcuts. There is only time for you to understand and acknowledge what you're studying before you think about a different method on how to get to that conclusion quicker. So as a beginner, you have to take your studying very, very seriously, because there are gonna be a lot of walls that you have to break through. So there will become a time where you will understand how to get to things quickly, but it's going to be because you take the time to study, understand every fundamentals, and study from seasoned artists. That way you can basically start to pave the way for your own way of getting to the point that you're trying to get with your art. So let's say you want to learn how to draw the human torso. What you're going to do for your next step in studying is just study it. If you're studying the torso, or some people say, they want to study how to draw the chest. If you're gonna study the chest and the back complements each other. So if you know how to draw the chest, you should also know how to draw the back. And I think it's effective for you to learn how to draw the back first. Then it kind of basically helps you on drawing the chest from different angles. But if you're going to approach that, what you should do if you want to be able to find a shortcut on how to draw it faster is to find every method on how other people draw the chest. That way you can basically develop a shorter way or easier way for you as an artist to basically use it either in studying or on projects. So once you do that, you basically can translate that same method into every other part of the body that you want to learn how to draw. But like I said before, there are different methods depending on what you're doing at the moment. Are you working on a project or are you studying? Because how I draw when I'm studying or when I'm working on a project is completely different. Like, what mindset do you bring into those two different scenarios? Because when it comes to studying, you can apply things from several different artists or several different references. Same with projects, but projects are completely different. You have a time limit. Unless you're doing the project just to see how far you've come as an artist, then that's different. But you can apply those things there to basically get a jump start on how to basically move your studying forward in your basic understanding of structure or composition, all of that. So once you learn all these things and all these foundations, you're gonna basically just be one of the people who create a shortcut for everybody. It's also very effective if you have a basic understanding of what you're studying, for you to go ahead and draw it from imagination, and then you can apply other methods from artists or just from reference, and that's just gonna show you where you are missing some aspect of what you're studying and where you are applying what you already learned. That way it becomes easier for you to create shortcuts from imagination to move your art forward by trying first to draw it from imagination and then looking at how other people draw it and then applying it to it. But all I'm trying to say is that before you take shortcuts, you must also learn everything about what you learning, then you can create your own shortcuts, or then take those shortcuts that are already there to see if you have a basic understanding of that method for you to be able to take the shortcuts. The best way for you to find how far you've come as an artist is for you to basically study something on a timer. That way you don't spend hours and hours on it, so you could basically stop yourself and look at your art, see the mistakes that you made, see what decision you made that actually helped to define what you're drawing and make it look accurate to what your reference is to be on a timer. And don't I know some of us like to cheat. Don't cheat. If the timer run out, your pencil's off, you have to start on another one from a different angle. So do that, and then you can basically try to take your favorite artists and try to like study from their method and how they draw their character, and then put yourself on a timer, try to do that. Because I know a lot of us have people that we want to be as good at, or people we go to that help us. So basically being in that environment with the artist that you admire the most is gonna help you a lot, or a book that you love and that you want to study from. So you can even pull out an anatomy book and just start drawing from it with a timer and try to see how fast you can do it and how fast you can apply what you know, and try to just do that, or just put it down and draw from imagination, and that way you can see how far as an artist you've come so far. And some days you might have to just not use any references and see if you can draw what you're studying just from imagination without putting up any reference. And maybe you might find that you have come far as an artist, like, wow, I can draw something without a reference. I think that's satisfying for any artist out there, to be able to draw something from imagination. And then when you look at the references, you're like, wow, I actually did really decent, and you can grade your work. You like, this is where you look at it, like, this is where I need to get better at, and this is what I need to keep because it actually helped to find it. So remember, if you study enough, you can create your own shortcuts. So I won't keep you here any longer because I know you got a lot to study. So happy studying, and see you around.
Oh, shine the flashlight in that car, Man Ray.
With pleasure.
Hey man, that's not cool.